there friends, welcome to another issue of Science Shoe Porn from Heeluxe. Now we're your leaders in footwear testing. And why is that important? Because we want your feet to be able to perform at their best. We recently took 6 of the most popular basketball shoes on the market and tested them in our innovative traction lab to find out how they can help you perform at your best. Now before we tell you what shoes we use in this test, we want to ask you for a little favor. See that subscribe button down below? Make sure you hit that because that's going to help us continue to bring you all these really cool videos. Now let's take a look at what shoes we used in this test. Here at Heeluxe's Luxe Lab, we have some wood floor surface that's just like the floor that you're going to be playing basketball on your local gym. You know what? Sometimes some sweat gets on there. So what we wanted to do for this traction test was actually look at the dry wood floor, but we also would wet the floor with just a little bit of synthetic sweat, just like this. Now for this traction test, we had testers do an explosive lateral jump, and we also had them come to a complete stop when they were moving forward very quickly. Now, what we found in this traction test was just having that little bit of synthetic sweat on the wood surface decrease the shoe's traction by an average of 10%. Now, the crazy part is some of the worst performing shoes lost as much as 20% of their grip when we just had a little bit of sweat on the surface. Now, that's definitely going to limit your performance on the court. Now, here's the big thing. Which shoes perform the best? Now, on the dry wood surface, the top 2 performers were the Reebok Kamikaze and the Nike LeBron 10s. These shoes were much better than the competition, and they had on average about 6% more traction than their competitors. Now, what about when there was a little bit of sweat on the floor? Well, again, the Reebok Kamikaze was your clear champion. That shoe was actually better on wet surfaces than some shoes were on the dry wood. That's how good the traction on it is. Now, compared to the other shoes on the sweat surface, the Reebok Kamikaze had about 12.5% more traction. That's definitely going to help your performance. Now, what about the worst performing shoe in the test? The Jordan CP3 6s were by far the worst tractioning shoe, both on the dry wood surface and when we sprayed a little bit of that synthetic sweat on there. Now, I know this might come as a surprise to some of you guys, because there's some basketball shoe rating websites that say the CP3s actually have really good traction. But unfortunately, our lab numbers aren't going to lie. Now, if you guys have some proof to show that you think these things have really good traction, let us know in the comments section below. Now, we also have an upcoming video for you guys that's going to be specific to how these 6 shoes did on asphalt for traction, for those of you guys that like to play outside. Make sure you stay tuned to our video series so you can check that out, and you can make sure that you're going to be performing on your best when you're outside on the asphalt courts as well. I'm Dr. Jeffrey Allen Gray from Heeluxe, and you know that if we tested your shoes, they're going to kick ass.